First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A live look at New York, where you can see snow has blanketed the area. D.C. It's caused dozens of flight delays and cancellations. The snow and ice are spread out across the U.S. from Texas to the Northeast. Nearly 2/3 of the country were hit with the storm over the weekend, shifting classes to remote learning to keep more people inside. Ice coating trees and power lines in the south is damaging on its own, but forecasters say the wind is adding an extra danger. And while north central Florida won't see any snow in the forecast, the next round of frigid air is moving in. This is a live look at Paynes Prairie. Forecasters say temperatures have dropped all day. And tonight, things will get even colder. This is WUFT's First at 5. I'm Nicole Beltran.
And I'm Bernardo Montas. The plunging temperatures will continue for the next several days. Let's get over to UF forecaster Matthew Clark live in the weather studio with what North Florida neighbors can expect this week.
Well, we dodged the cold weather this weekend. We were very warm this past weekend, but the cold weather is moving its way through. And something that's very interesting is you can actually see the amount of snow that fell all the way from New Mexico all the way up through the Northeast from space. That's how much snow fell. This white here is not clouds, but actually snow on the ground. So a lot of snow, ice, and mixed wintry precipitation fell. I was talking about those cold temperatures. Those cold temperatures are going to move from the north down to the south in towards Gainesville. We're not going to be in the negatives, but wind chill values tomorrow morning are going to be in the lower 20s, upper teens. Temperatures right now is 53 degrees in Gainesville, 57 in Ocala. That's about 25 degrees colder right now than it was this time yesterday. So the cold air is moving in very quickly. And as we head into the rest of the evening, temperatures are going to get close to near freezing at midnight, and then waking up tomorrow morning even colder. Now, coming up in a few, I'll have how long this cold is going to last, and what you need to expect for us here in North Central Florida.
And with the frigid air moving in, Gainesville city leaders have activated their cold night shelter program. This ensures that the city's most vulnerable neighbors have a warm place to sleep when temperatures drop below 45 degrees. St. Francis House is open to families, women, and children, while Grace Marketplace primarily serves individual adults.
After the deaths of 2 Minnesota neighbors, local chapters of a pair of political parties took to the Gainesville streets in response and to call out ICE agents. Roughly 100 members of the Party for Socialism and Liberation and the Young Democratic Socialists of America orchestrated the protest over the weekend. These are pictures of the event where participants shouted chants and supported signs urging ICE ends operations in Minneapolis. Alex Preddy was shot and killed Saturday and is the second U.S. citizen killed by ICE agents this month. The 37-year-old was an ICU nurse. Renee Good died back on January 7th during a protest. Federal officials claimed an agent shot Preddy in self-defense. Meanwhile, Democrats and others point to multiple videos of the shooting they say tell a different story. Since Saturday, politicians have come out asking for a calming of tensions within the city. Over the weekend, Representative Kat Cammack released a statement after the shooting that read in part, "What is unfolding in Minneapolis has moved beyond peaceful protest. Leaders at every level must lower the temperature, enforce the law, and protect public safety. In the days ahead, we will ensure a full and transparent review of events."
Right now, a 71-year-old in High Springs is recovering after a dog attack over the weekend. Deputies were called to the report of the attack just after 7 Saturday night. The report says once the responding deputy arrived on the scene, the dog also began to attack them. The deputy shot and killed the dog and helped the victim until paramedics arrived. Investigators learned the dog belonged to the daughter of the victim, who was also bitten. And investigators in Marion County need your help tracking down a shooting suspect. Deputies got a shooting call around 5:30 Sunday evening on Northwest 90th Street in Ocala. Detectives say when they arrived on the scene, they found 3 people shot. All 3 are expected to survive. If you have any information about this shooting, you're asked to call the Marion County Sheriff's Office.
A man from India will spend the next 18 years in prison after taking and laundering millions of dollars from elderly across the state, including Gainesville. That arrest marks a larger problem in the country, elderly fraud, which city and state officials claim they are not taking lightly.
Another scammer locked up.
23-year-old Atharva Sathawain from India will spend almost 2 decades behind bars after he
conducted what he and his co-conspirators mockingly called gold rushes.
Those gold rushes consisted of convincing multiple elders to empty their retirement accounts to convert into cash or gold. Sathawain would then meet with those victims face to face.
These were in-person visits with the elderly fraud victims during which he took possession of large quantities of cash and gold, which he subsequently laundered and distributed to his co-conspirators and other couriers engaged in this scheme.
Brian Oliver helped police catch Sathawain after he learned that hard truth.
That is a fraud. You know it's a fraud. The only reason why you're turning it into gold is because it cannot be traced.
Oliver called police and told them he suspected he was being scammed. He realized the importance of involving authorities.
Perhaps we're not going to be able to stop it, but perhaps, just maybe, we can slow it down a little bit.
Elder fraud schemes take place in every state. Sathawain's gold rush scheme took place in several states, but in Florida it happened in Boca Raton, Jacksonville, Naples, and Gainesville.
The scammers we are dealing with are highly skilled manipulators. They know exactly how to make victims believe that they are talking like a real official and sometimes law enforcement.
City officials remind us elders can often be the most vulnerable victims.
They want to be able to feel comfortable that the work that they put into the 30, 40, 50 years of work means something, right? Means something so that they can continue to be independent and take care of themselves.
Police also want to emphasize if something is too good to be true, it most likely is. The best thing you can do is stop engaging and report these calls, emails, and messages to law enforcement.
Over half of all cervical cancer cases in Alachua County are diagnosed at advanced stages, according to the Florida Department of Health. I spoke with UF healthcare professionals and researchers working to diagnose and treat the disease sooner.
Patients call her the mobile cancer screening connector, but those who work with her call her by a different name.
We call her Connie the Connector. She has a personality and a vibe, and you're always supposed to give a ship a woman's name, right?
Here, healthcare workers have what they need to test for different kinds of cancer. That includes cervical cancer, which 4,000 women in the U.S. die from each year.
Those are 4,000 women with stories, mothers, sisters, grandmothers, who are dying of cancer, and we could completely prevent them from dying from cancer.
Chronic disease researcher Dr. Rama Maku found that an effective prevention strategy is self-collecting HPV, which is the leading cause of cervical cancer.
You just can't go to CVS and order it, but your provider can order the test or for you to be able to self-sample.
Getting screened for cervical cancer doesn't have to be a tall order. It can be as easy as taking a self-sampling kit, sending it to a lab, and getting your results.
Dr. David Iglesias is studying how doctors can better track how cervical cancer responds to treatment.
We can either tailor therapy more appropriately or more personalized to individual patients, and potentially, offer different opportunities for de-escalation or escalation of treatment. But I think the important thing is kind of having a clear understanding of what are the symptoms to look out for, and when to talk with your healthcare provider.
Ultimately,
it'll take a community effort to really make a difference in how we address cervical cancer.
An effort that's getting stronger every day.
If you'd like to schedule an appointment with the Mobile Cancer Screening Connector, call 352-740-4667 for more information.
Coming up next, when First at 5 returns, the growing trend of cashless cities may not benefit everyone in your community. After the break, the challenges some neighbors face when they are unable to swipe their cards regularly. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Nearly 200 million Americans are under cold weather alerts after weekend storms dumped some 20 inches of snow in parts of the country. This is a live look at New York City, where a combination of ice and freezing rain has knocked down power lines, leaving people in dangerous conditions. DC. In just a few minutes, UF forecaster Matthew Clark will break down the north central Florida impacts from this system. More businesses continue to go cashless. No bills, no coins, just cards and apps.
Our Genesis Trujillo went out into Gainesville to find out if some of these businesses will keep up this trend.
At Northwest Grill, a popular restaurant in Gainesville, I'm told customers' preferred payment method is digital cash.
Everything doing okay, guys? Yeah. That's good, that's good. Everything is okay? Good?
Customers.
Everything's doing well?
Yes. Ready to eat.
Everything's okay? We're doing good?
At one of Gainesville's staples, Northwest Grill.
We've been around about 29, 30 years, and we got like a nice older clientele.
Manager Anthony Foster says that customers can be specific when it's time to pay.
I feel like it goes both ways. A lot of people use Apple Pay, some people use their cards, some people pay cash.
At Floral Expressions, owner Scott Cavallo welcomes any method of pay, but one form tends to rule.
I would say cash is not as quick as the tap, but cash is king.
The owners at Floral Expressions don't see themselves going cashless anytime soon. The reason? The customers.
Older people in this county or in this town, they have cash. They want to use cash. Although credit cards are a lot easier.
Capital One reports 47.8% of adults make no cash purchases in a typical week. An estimated 69% of Americans use cash for few purchases in the same year. Cashless use among Americans grew 13.1% during the same period.
I would say it's mostly credit cards because we do like a lot of volume on our website. Whenever it's our walk-in, there are a good amount of people who use cash.
Good to see y'all.
Back at Northwest Grill, the manager says, like Floral Expressions, he and his staff will continue to watch the financial trends.
Where technology going? I mean, sooner than we probably get rid of cash, but as of right now, we'll continue to use cash or anything we can.
Although many places are turning to cashless payments, in Gainesville, you still have options. Genesis Trujillo, WUFT News.
Well, we avoided the freezing temperatures this past weekend, but those freezing temperatures are quickly making their way down south to north central Florida. I'll have just how cold it will get and how long it will stay coming up after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
A Citrus County man is now a millionaire thanks to hitting the jackpot on a scratch-off lottery ticket. 65-year-old Antonio Gaspar claimed the top prize from the scorching hot sevens game. The Homosassa man chose to take his winnings a one-time lump sum payment of $1.1 million. He purchased the winning ticket at the 7-Eleven on Broad Street in Brooksville.
Guys, I don't know about you, but if I had won $1 million, I would buy all the world's coats because it is cold out there.
It is.
I agree. I was just starting to get used to the warm weather again.
I know. Last weekend, literally just yesterday, was 83 degrees here in Gainesville, and it's 30 degrees colder this afternoon. So the cold weather, we're starting to feel it, and it's going to remain cold. And it wasn't just cold for us here in Florida. It was very warm here in Florida this past weekend, actually. But you could see on satellite and radar all of this white here across all of the eastern two-thirds of the United States pretty much is snow on the ground. That white is not clouds. That is snow being seen from space, which is pretty crazy. And the reason it's still on the ground is because of these sub-freezing temperatures. These feels-like temperatures across pretty much everything to the east of the Rockies, especially up through the Ohio River Valley and the Northeast in the negatives. You can see 85 degrees in Miami, 39 degrees in Panama City. So that front is moving its way down south very quickly, which is why it's pretty windy outside as well. You can see that north wind. We were getting some south winds yesterday, but it has transitioned to a north wind, which is ushering in that cold and dry air. Right now on our campus cam, it's currently 53 degrees. We woke up with some clouds in the area this morning, but all blue skies at this temperature. Dew point temperatures are also been dropping. Dew point temperatures were in the 60s this morning. Now those dew points are down into the upper 30s, so it is feeling quite dry across north central Florida. Temperatures elsewhere 57 in Ocala, 60 in the Villages. It's warmer down to the south than it is up to the north, but we will all be cold as we head into tomorrow morning. And talking about that temperature change, 25 degrees colder today at this hour than it was this time yesterday. Same thing for Ocala, pretty much the mid-20s up to our north, and then down into the lower 20s down to the south near Marion County. And as we head in through the rest of the night, temperatures are going to continue to drop rapidly. By midnight, we'll be just above freezing, and past midnight, we'll be below freezing and into the 20s for tomorrow morning. And the wind chill values, it's still going to be breezy tomorrow morning. So we're going to have substantial wind chills tomorrow morning. 21-degree wind chill in Gainesville, 20 degrees in Ocala, up 19 degrees in Live Oak. You want to make sure you're protecting the 4 Ps: people, plants, pipes, and pets. Definitely throw a blanket on over any plants you plan to protect in these sub-freezing temperatures. And because of those sub-freezing temperatures, all of us are under a freeze warning. A freeze watch has been issued for tomorrow night as well. That will be upgraded to a freeze warning, and an extreme cold warning for Lafayette, Dixie, and Taylor County as well. So it's going to be bitterly cold tomorrow morning, waking up, bringing the kids to school, or driving to work early, especially in the car. Definitely going to want to turn on the heaters in the car. And then tomorrow we'll barely reach 50 degrees. It's going to be breezy and sunny again tomorrow, and we're going to gradually warm up in the afternoons. We'll be below the freezing mark every morning here in Gainesville, but by Friday afternoon we'll be above 60 degrees before another front moves through. And Saturday and Sunday, the temperatures are only going to be in the mid-40s for highs, and that's from another Arctic blast that's moving its way up from the north down to the south. And this one's probably even stronger because the temperatures next weekend are going to be extremely frigid, the actual temperatures. So this is going to take place through Friday into Saturday, and you can see this cold, freezing air. All of this blue is freezing air. It's going to stick with us through next week, the beginning of next week at least. So we're going to gradually heat up as we head in through the end of the work week, but you can still see those temperatures every morning are going to be at or just above sub-freezing. 30% chance of rain on Saturday, with those temperatures being in the mid-40s on Saturday and Sunday, and then 21 degrees on Sunday morning. It is going to be frigid. That's the actual temperature. So the cold weather is here to stick for at least the next 7 days.
Coming up in sports, Gators men's basketball suffered an upset against Auburn on Saturday, and this loss at home was historical. And over on the gridiron,
Drake May and the aggressive call by Josh McDaniels sends New England to the Super Bowl.
A former Newberry Panther is heading to the big game. By those who watched him grow up say he was always destined for this kind of greatness.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Macy Meis. On Saturday, the O-Dome was home to a men's basketball SEC showdown, and this showdown had a story, a redemption story, but not for Florida. Last year, the Gators beat Auburn 3 times, and this time, the Tigers had revenge on their minds. With a battering defensive game plan, they snapped the Gators' 5-game win streak and handed them their first loss of the season at home. The Tigers took an early lead behind Keyshawn Hall's 22 first-half points, but Thomas Houck kept the Gators alive, with his 27 points helping erase a double-digit deficit. But Auburn held firm, out-hustling Florida and capitalizing on a poor home shooting performance for a signature win. The redemption arc completed with the 76-67 final for the visitors. The last time the Gators lost to the Tigers at home was 3 decades ago. The loss sends Florida into a 3-way tie for the second place in the SEC, alongside Arkansas and Kentucky. After the game, head coach Todd Golden lamented the poor shooting performance and took some of the blame.
And obviously it starts with me. Anytime, you get to a point where you think you got things rolling a little bit, and the moment you feel like they're on the right track, you get punched in the mouth, and that's what happened to us today. So, again, credit to Auburn. We got some things we gotta clean up before we get on the road to South Carolina next week.
Neighbors in one North Central Florida town will do some extra cheering when the Super Bowl rolls around next week. That's because one of Newberry's own will suit up for the New England Patriots. WUFT's Heather McKenzie is live at Newberry High School, where Corey Durden played on Friday nights. Heather, you spoke to some of the people who know Corey the best.
Humble beginnings for the New England defensive tackle Corey Durden right here at Newberry High School. It's been over a decade since he suited up for the Panthers, and now in 2 weeks he will suit up for the Patriots on the world's biggest stage.
Durden is only the second Newberry High School athlete ever to make a Super Bowl appearance. But this does not surprise his former head coach, Richard Vester. He says he always had this drive.
When it comes to work ethic and competing and all that, he is as good as they come.
His character shines past the field. He has since came back to Newberry to host camps and donated to live stream the Newberry games. For such a small town, those acts mean so much more to members of this community.
We absolutely cheer him on. I know that he's going to represent our community very well. I know he is going to work hard over the next couple of weeks before they get to kickoff. And, it'll be great to have a Corey Durden highlight reel that we can showcase maybe at the City of Newberry address on February 19th.
Durden's Super Bowl appearance is bringing the Newberry community together to celebrate.
He's not one of those people that just kind of get up and leave and you never see him again. He has been able to come back and do some other things here in the community, which we all think is great.
Durden has stayed connected with neighbors, including Coach Vester.
I'm only a phone call away. If he needs anything, like I said, I don't take it lightly. Like, I mean, when I tell you, it's like watching your own son play.
As the Super Bowl approaches, Coach Vester shared his advice for Durden.
Embracing every moment of it, and then, just give God the glory and man, do your absolute best. When you come off the field, win, lose, or draw, know that there is not a single thing you could have done better in preparation or during the game that could have made a difference.
This is Durden's first season with the Patriots, and he is making his mark with one win away from a world championship.
And the icing on top of the cake is today is Corey's birthday. Happy birthday, Corey, and good luck in the Super Bowl. Reporting live from Newberry High School, Heather McKenzie, WUFT Sports.
And back on the court, Gators women's basketball takes on the LSU Tigers tonight. The Gators made it back into the win column at home last week, and they're looking to bring those results with them on the road. The Gators defeated Missouri by almost 20 points last week to end their 5-game losing skid. Tonight's game will be the first of 3 straight for the Gators against top 10 competition. Tip-off in Baton Rouge is at 7 p.m. tonight. Over on the diamond, the Santa Fe Saints were up to bat against the Gulf Coast State Commodores for a 3-game, 2-day series over the weekend. This series was their season opener, and after finishing below 500 last season, they wanted to get themselves off to a strong start. They finished their exhibition season with a 12-5 win over Flagler College just over a week ago. And after Gulf Coast finished top in the Panhandle Conference last season, a series win would get the Saints marching on. But for the first 2 games, the Saints could not secure a win. But as the saying goes, the third time's the charm. The Saints won that one 7-4, opening their season with a 1-2 record. Next, Santa Fe will welcome South Georgia State College for a doubleheader on Tuesday, starting at noon. And before we go, a couple of former Gators tennis players are into the quarterfinals at the Australian Open. Ben Shelton will face Yannick Sinner in his next match. Anna Donalina will play in the doubles portion of the draw. That's all for sports. Stay tuned for one final check with the weather after the break.
Well, guys, it's cold, and it's only going to continue to get even colder. Looking at the 7-day forecast, the temperatures, well, they're not gonna go very far. We're gonna get to about 61 degrees on Friday as the afternoon high, but I want you to notice the low temperatures every single day for the next 7 days. We are gonna see another cold front move through Saturday, Friday night into Saturday. There's about a 30% chance of a shower, and then 21 degrees on Sunday morning. So cold weather.
Well, it's chilly. Thank you, Matthew, and thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
Have a good night.